Hello and welcome to American Pinball Tech Tips. I'm Dave Brennan, the Tech Service Manager for American Pinball. Today I'm going to be going over the very basics of your new pinball machine for new pinball owners. This video is going to cover things like how to remove the glass, some of the components within the game, how to lift up your playfield and see what's underneath, how to get into the back box, and what components are in there. So let's take a look. To get into your pinball machine, first unlock the coin door, and in the upper right hand corner there's a lever to unlatch the lock bar. Pull it to the left and pull up on your lock bar to release it. Set that off to the side, then close your coin door. Now you can slide the glass out to expose the playfield. Now with your playfield glass removed, to lift the playfield, all you have to do is grab a hold of the apron right where the balls drain and pull up. This is going to expose the yellow support rails, which then you can grab onto and pull the playfield out. You're going to notice as you pull it that there's a couple of humps on the playfield support rails that you have to jump over. You'll feel the bump as you pull the playfield out. Once you're past it, there's a little travel here where you can set the rails on the lock bar receiver up to the end of them, depending on what you need to work on in the game. You don't have to remove the balls in American Pinball games, as there is a mechanism that swings closed for the ball shooter lane so the balls don't fly out when you lift the playfield vertically. If you do want to remove the pinballs, the easiest way to do it manually is to plunge the plunger into the shooter lane, and it will remove the balls from the game. And you can do that for all 6 balls in the game. But you don't have to do that because of the mechanism. So when you go to lift the playfield vertically, that mechanism is going to swing closed so the balls don't fall out. When you're lifting it vertically, you can slide it all the way forward until you feel the stops. Do not pull the playfield past the stops, otherwise it's going to fall into the cabinet and cause problems. So from here you can pivot all the way up, and you notice the balls didn't fall into the game. From here you can just rest it on the back box, and now you can see all the components on the underside. We'll start at the top and work our way down. The first mechanism that we've already talked about was the through mechanism. This mechanism holds 6 balls and delivers the ball to the shooter lane via the plunger coil, which then gets shot up through the auto kicker that's connected to the shooter lane. You'll also see in the middle of the playfield here 2 flipper mechanisms. Notice all of the coils in American Pinball games are connected via Molex plugs for easily removal. If you ever have a coil that goes bad, you don't have to do any soldering. All you have to do is unplug the coil and replace it. So you have 2 flipper mechanisms, 2 flipper coils. As you hit the flipper buttons on the side, this is what actuates and hits the ball. Below that you have, this is a switchboard that controls your switches for your through mechanism and some other stand-up switches, and below that you have your 2 slingshot mechanisms. Traveling further down the playfield, you'll see big LED boards. They're throughout the game, and these are daisy chained with connectors that drive all of your LEDs. In the center of the playfield is a coil driver board that drives all of your coils. Just to the right of that, this is a drop target mechanism. There's two in this game. Below that, here's a couple of switchboards that drive more switches. All the switchboards are daisy chained together to communicate. Covering more of the drop target mechanism, this can be adjusted in height. There's a set screw that can be unlocked, and you can move your drop target height up however you want. And then below that you have your spin mechanism motor that drives the spinning car up above. Traveling even further down the playfield, you have your vertical up kicker mechanism, or VUK abbreviated, and then you have 3 pop bumper mechanisms for the 3 pop bumper array on this game. And then at the very bottom right, you have another switchboard and an opto switchboard. And then the very back bottom is a single magnet for this particular game. Inside the cabinet are various things just to identify. In the very back is a large metal box that contains the power supplies. You have your bottom speaker. This one has accessories like a knocker. It's used for replay and different features in the game. There's a shaker motor, coin box. There's the power box, which also has the main fuse for the game, as well as a service outlet for plugging in a light or a soldering iron or whatever. This game also has a USB extension cord that leads up to the computer. This is used for code updates and gathering game logs for whatever. This is the tilt bob for when you shake the machine, the game will tilt. You should have gotten a tilt bob in your goodie bag with the balls. This attaches to the stick, so when you shake it, it will make it so you lose your ball for rough handling the game. Inside your coin door, you'll notice the service menu buttons to get into your game. You have your enter and your buttons to move around and navigate through the system for various tests, and I'll cover that on another video. You'll also notice inside the game hangs your Backbox key. There's a little hook here. You have the coin mechanisms. All games come standard set up for coin play. You have to go into the menu system and change it to free play in the features. There's a plug for a bill acceptor that's more for operators on location. Inside the left hand corner, you'll notice a couple of switches. The bottom one here is just to tell so the game knows if the coin door is open or closed. The top one is a coil power cutoff switch. So with the coin door open, it's going to disengage power to the coils. So if you're in your service menu testing out any coils, you have to grab a hold of this switch and pull out to engage coil power for testing. Now to put your playfield back down, all you have to do is grab a hold of the yellow playfield support rails, pivot the playfield towards you while sliding it to the back of the game. You'll notice the stop at the back. What you want to do is give the game or the playfield a little shove to get over those bumps, and then slide it all the way back, and then position it down so the playfield hangers go into the receiver. From here, you can slide your glass back in and put your lockdown bar back in. To get into your back box, there's a key hanging on a hook inside your coin door. The key goes into a lock at the top center of your back box here. Unlatch it. Put your palm on the center of the glass and your other hand by the lift channel at the bottom. Push in and up to expose the lift channel. Pivot the glass out and set it off to the side someplace safe so it doesn't get scratched. Inside the back box, you'll notice the monitor. This is just a couple of connections for power and HDMI cable that goes to the computer that's behind it. The computer has audio connections, USB for code updates that go to in your coin box that I showed earlier. It also has a USB connection going to communicate with the switches and coils of the game. To the right of that is your audio amplifier. This goes to speakers in the top of the back box as well as below in the cabinet. Then you have LED lighting that's daisy chained around in the back box. Behind the monitor are a couple of circuit boards inside a metal box. One is an interface to communicate to the switches and coils of the game, and the other one is an add-on board that has a couple of fuses for backbox lighting and knocker and a few other features. But in order to get to those, if you ever needed to, you would just unplug the HDMI and power connections at the bottom of the monitor and loosen the screws for the bracket of the monitor on the left and right to be able to pull that out and access it. To put the glass back in, follow the reverse order. Put the top of the glass in the channel above. Pivot the glass in and drop it into the channel below, and then latch the lock closed. Thanks for watching this intro video to your new pinball machine. If you have any questions along the way, you can reach me at the email and phone number on your screen. You can also visit the American Pinball website for any parts or code updates that come available. Have fun playing your new machine. See you next time.